Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in information? I mean, we're constantly bombarded with data, tweets, and articles. It's overwhelming. But how much of that actually leads to real wisdom? How do we find a clear path to a life that actually feels meaningful?
It's a huge problem today, right? We've got all the facts in the world right at our fingertips, but trying to find a guiding principle to make sense of it all, it can feel absolutely impossible. We know more than ever, but we're not necessarily living any better. Well, what if the answer isn't in some new app or the latest self-help trend, but in a framework that stood the test of time? We're talking 2,500 years ago. Long before any of our modern distractions, the philosopher Confucius was tackling this exact same challenge. How do you build a life of real substance and character?
Okay, let's really dig into this quote because it's fantastic. It shows us that even Confucius got it wrong at first. He tried to figure everything out just by thinking really, really hard, by pure mental force. But he realized that just sitting and thinking without any direction was a total dead end. The real path forward he figured out was through structured learning. And that brings us to his first pillar.
So what did Confucius even mean by learning? It's probably not what you're thinking. This isn't about memorizing trivia to win a game night or being able to sound smart in a debate. No, it's something way, way deeper.
Here, Confucius has this amazing conversation with a student that really gets to the heart of his philosophy. The student basically asks, "Hey, is your whole deal that you just know a ton of stuff?" And Confucius shuts that right down. He says, "No, I have one thread that runs through it all." For him, true learning isn't about collecting a bunch of scattered facts. It's about finding that single, unifying principle that ties everything together.
And why bother looking for this unifying principle? Well, this quote gives us the answer. The whole point isn't to get rich or famous. It's about finding the way, a path of moral and philosophical growth. Think about it in your own life. Are you learning stuff just to get a promotion, or are you learning to become a better, more complete human being? For Confucius, the answer was obvious.
Okay, so if learning is the method, then what's the goal? What is that one thread we're supposed to be looking for? This brings us to this second, and arguably the most important pillar of his entire philosophy. It's a concept called Ren.
Ren is the absolute peak of human development. You can translate it as benevolence, humanity, or just perfect goodness. It's the quality that makes a person truly great. And listen, this isn't just some nice idea. For Confucius, it's the entire point of the journey.
And just to show you how serious this is, look at this. Confucius says that a truly good person would rather die than compromise their benevolence, their Ren. It is the very core of who you are. To lose it is to lose yourself completely. Now, that sounds incredibly intense, right? But hold on, because he immediately follows it up with something crucial. And this just brilliantly shows the balance. Yes, Ren is a principle worth dying for, but living it isn't some dangerous path. It's actually the opposite. He's saying it's the safest, most stable path you can possibly walk. Practicing goodness, being humane. This is what affirms life. It doesn't threaten it.
All right, so we've got these two huge pillars. Find a unifying principle through learning, and make that principle the ultimate virtue of benevolence, or Ren. But that's all pretty high-level stuff. How do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice? Well, Confucius laid out some really clear, practical advice.
He gives us this beautiful three-step plan. First, sharpen your tools. For a carpenter, that's a chisel. For us, it's our skills, our character, our education. We have to prepare ourselves. Second, serve the worthy. This means you align yourself with good people and good causes. Work for a boss you actually respect. And third, befriend the benevolent. You have to surround yourself with people who already embody Ren. Your environment and the people you hang out with are what shape you.
So all of this, the learning, the benevolence, the practical steps, it all boils down to a single elegant idea. It's that one thread that Confucius mentioned right at the beginning, and one of his students asks a question that gets right to the heart of the whole thing.
Just think about that for a second. Is there one single concept that if you followed it every single day would be enough? One rule that could guide every action you ever take? It's the ultimate question, isn't it?
And Confucius's answer is just so beautifully simple. Reciprocity. What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others. This is it. This is the thread that runs through everything. It's the practical, daily application of benevolence. Whether it's in a tense meeting at work, a disagreement with your family, or how you treat a total stranger, this one principle is the only guide you'll ever need. In the end, it's not about knowing 1,000 different rules. It's about living by one. And that leaves us with a final thought.
This isn't just some dusty ancient philosophy. It's a practical tool for right now. So if you were to really use this one thread, reciprocity, to guide your actions, starting today, what would actually change?